Yo, 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 yo.
Yo,
Episode 9 coming at you of the Boost
nice.
and Bullshit show. How about that? 9 episodes with this flat hood Harris dude over
Oh
here.
my God, crying ass screw blower. I
Here
feel like
we
I just
are.
got. I feel like I just got home.
But you got home early. You left Saturday.
I got home early because I sucked.
You
But
did leave somewhat early. You were still there. I seen you back there running around in the semifinals, running around like a wild man over there.
oh yeah. My buddies had to run you, and they couldn't get the car started because they're rookies when it comes to pro chargers and fuel injection things like that. So I came up there. I'm glad I did because I couldn't get the car started. You would have got a free ride.
I thought it was going to be a free one, but it
I was
wasn't.
trying to rush him, but I wouldn't have let him hold you out too long.
I wasn't going in that light without him. You know that.
I know that. Happy Father's Day, Stephen.
Happy Father's Day to you too, sir.
Yep. I hope everybody had a good Father's Day.
For sure. The
yep.
Boost and Bullshit show is presented by Feather-Lite Batteries for this episode number 9. Who would ever thought we'd be going this long?
I can't believe me and you had 9 things to talk about this long.
That's what I'm thinking. Lord.
We had a little mishap at Maryland. They moved the testing up on us, well, back on us. So, Glenn had to make a qualifying run, and then we had me and you had to make some test runs. I definitely did. Like, if I had made good runs earlier in the day, I probably wouldn't have made that run, but I just had not made any good runs. So we got moved back. We made a late show. It was probably one of our better shows. I mean, I know a lot of people weren't up at that time, but if you want to go back and take a look at what old Glenn had to talk about, Mr. Butcher, I think I learned a lot about what's up, Tommy Payne, Ricky Smith's stepson. So we learned a lot about Butcher. I've known Butcher probably since I was 18, 19 years old, and I learned some things about him that I didn't really know. So I think that.
Yeah, I thought that was one of our better shows, to be honest with you. And
I do too. I mean, I think it was a really good show. So,
and that ham beer was icing on the cake.
That shit sucked.
It had a little bit of thought I was like a cow out in the field, but I still drank it. I wasn't gonna let that man go. He done brought him over there.
No, yeah, I get it. It is pouring rain here, so if I disappear, it's because the power went out, and I will try to come back on my cell phone. So
wow, it's supposed to be coming here, so we rushing around. I got a late start here on this deal, so I've been working. I had to come home and go to work.
Yeah. So let's recap Maryland. Let's go from the beginning, which was parking. It took me about 9 hours to get in and get parked. Now, it took me 2 hours had a manhunt on 85 right outside Henderson. So, and that was a bunch of bull. By the time they diverted me, they let us right back on. I had about an hour and a half at Cracker Barrel to make sure my dad wasn't cranky. Then I had about an hour delay in Richmond. Of course, everybody knows Richmond traffic. And then I had a 3-hour delay at the gate. What about you?
We had about a 3-hour delay. When I pulled in, I don't even think I was at the gate. I was along the road when I got there about 1:30. And you know what? Those Kinetic Shocks sat there nice and smooth for me while we sat for 3.5 hours waiting to even get to the gate. So,
yep. So, it's good to have Kinetic Shocks on board for the shock. This is our recap, kind of going over what we went through and trying to give everybody a look at what you guys went through, what other people went through as far as for the weekend. And there's going to be some good spots. There's going to be some bad spots, and parking was a bad spot. I mean, it took us 3 hours to get through the gate. Maryland is a very, very tight racetrack. It looks humongous, but the pit area is very tight. Always has been.
Yes.
I think we all kind of know it. It is a struggle. The bigger your rig is, the worse you are. The way it is designed, if you get a bunch of big rigs in there and you got a big rig, you are not getting in. And if you do, you're not getting out.
Yep.
I even saw old Tubby Tommy out there in the heat parking cars. They were trying their best. I mean,
I think they just got a late start. I do. They waited till 2:00 to open the gates up when, I mean, some of these guys I heard was lining up Monday afternoon.
Yep.
Which maybe they don't have a job. I don't know.
And do you think it was from just and we missed Norwalk, and everybody was excited that we had a 5-week break, and we wanted to get into this race, and everybody just had kind of, was sick of working and wanted to get an early start. I mean, I know we always leave on Wednesday for
Yes.
like the closer races. When I pulled off the road, we were at the road, and then they did good job of double parking us and getting us off the road. I got up to the window and did my normal deal, and Crystal and the girls, I mean, it's not really anything different on their end. I just think that when you're parking there, it is very tough because you have to put the bigger rigs in certain spots, and they actually put me in a spot where my levelers on my motorhome kind of took a dump. So they had me on down there where the boost cars, they had a lot of the boost guys, and they try to put us together by Proline, Resolute, YWO, WYO, those guys try to put them all together, but they had me on a pretty big hill and it just wasn't working. So they put me up where we normally are, up against the fence, which worked out great. I was amongst some of my sportsman brethren, and I don't think it was anything that was done wrong. I think I would like to see them, if they know Maryland's going to be an issue, let's open the gate a little earlier.
Yes, that's what I was going to say. They need to open the gate a few hours earlier and go ahead and get them on in there, and let's get it done. They did too a little bit. I did see some of the big rigs that those guys did park at an angle where they could get into some of those other smaller parks, which was probably a great, because then they can get out. So and I think that's a lot of these tracks. So in my opinion, some of these tracks that the rigs have outgrown the parking.
Yeah. So let's remember that going into Bristol, because I think Bristol was a pain in the ass last year too. So let's know, we know Bristol's tight. We know Bristol's kind of weird the way you got to park them. So can we start a little earlier? Tyler, can we? I mean, if we have to pay a little more entry fee to get a guy to open the gate at 9 o'clock, I mean, damn, we'll do it. Because sitting in a rig for 3 hours moving up a foot at a time is not fun.
Right.
Yep. And they get you to pre-enter, and I kind of had a thought, and it got kicked down pretty good. You want to pre-enter, and sometimes I do pre-enter, and sometimes I don't, just because of whatever. I don't know. I'm weird. And what's the purpose of pre-entering if you're not going to get a premier spot?
I mean, I think they should know you're coming with all your flat hood guys, and I'm surprised they're not all in the same area.
Yeah.
Like Resolution and, Totoro Crew. And
I mean, and they kind of do. And it kind of was a pain for Brandon Trout, my tuner. He was kind of going back and forth, but it wasn't really that big a deal. But everybody got parked. It was hot as hell.
We needed a swimming pool.
It was bad. I think it just took us by surprise because we had kind of been, we had been kind of at home. It had been kind of hot, but it kind of hadn't hit us. And then it hit us like a ton of bricks all of a sudden.
I actually think you talked about this last show. Maryland's known for being hot and greasy. Yep. So you was spot on with that.
Yep. And it always is. I don't know why, because it's down there on the waterway and it shouldn't be that way. But I think anytime I've ever been to Maryland, my entire racing career, it's always been this boiling hot. So we got parked, got out. I seen you guys were up there. You had a pretty good parking spot, so you can't bitch too much.
I wasn't bitching about my parking spot. That's usually where I park at every race there.
Yeah.
Royce has got my name on that one.
Yep. And, testing, I came off the trailer pretty good, and then it just went to hell in a headbasket.
Yeah, what was that about? I'm not used to that from you. You usually right down Broadway and set out the last one and drink your tea and whatever you guys do over there. And so,
I don't know if you knew this. The scales were jacked up while we were testing.
I know, Trevor?
Yeah, we roll across the scales and we're about 50 pounds heavier than we need to be. So we're flipping out. I'm cussing my dad out because I'm sure he didn't take the weight out from where we were trying to run Rockingham, which we have to weigh a little more. And come to find out, that wasn't the case.
That's another issue they should be checking on, because we're all checking when we go after even the test run. We're checking to try to make sure where we're at.
Well, it throws you off because, just like me, I went across, I was 2650. I'm like, how the hell am I 50 pounds heavy? So I go back and I pull some weight out, and the car won't go down the racetrack, which was stupid on my part, and me and my dad got in a big argument about where the weight was supposed to be, and it was hot, and it just wasn't a planned deal. So then we figure out that we weren't wrong, the scales were wrong. So we put the weight back and then still couldn't get down, still couldn't slow it down enough. So we blamed the tires. So I took tires off, put some old run tires on there. And by then the track had cooled off and we made good runs. But by then I'd already wasted a couple runs.
Yep. That was that new prototype highfalutin, whatever that thing you had on the front of the motor. Probably had all kinds of bells and whistles in it, I'm sure.
I was trying to spray nitrous, trying to outrun the screw blower, so that's the only way I can.
Here we go.
So you made some good runs testing, right?
Yeah, early in the day we missed it a little bit, but then old John got a hold of it, and we run 66 and a 65 there with the heat, and then when the sun went down, went 65. So I really thought everyone would run that or a little better. So, but yeah, we made some good runs, but I think that came from when we went testing 2 weeks prior to that, when the Norwalk race got canceled, and went out there and made 13 runs in 2 days. So we was pounding on it.
Yeah, and it showed. I mean, you guys went testing and I went on vacation, so I think that's where I kind of got behind sometimes. And me and Brandon and my dad and on my crew, we sat back and we looked at the data, and we just don't have a lot of hot, greasy racetrack tune-ups for my car because we normally don't really get in that situation. It's thundering bad here.
Coming my way.
So looking back at like where we had weight and the way we were running the car, and it just wasn't working. And we kind of started grasping at straws at that point in time. Like you guys know that I can go down a cool, tight racetrack. I mean, it's proven. I've done it, and that's where I think the Pro Charger screw blower battle as far as weight and what needs to be done. Like you guys can run fast out of it. So you're a number and a half back, faster out than me out the back. Okay. Let's just say we'll give, for the argument's sake, we'll say a number faster out the back. Y'all go 118 in the heat. We go 119, 120. Okay. So we're better at 60 footing than you guys are, than you guys are. Well, what used to be. I think Melanie's kind of stepped up her program as far as 60 foot, and you have too. So we have to make all our energy to make up for what we can't back half in the first 150 foot. And when the track's greasy, we can't apply the power. So that's kind of where, you guys were a number or two numbers ahead of us all weekend as far as runs than we were, because even because John's car was on rails too. So John Camp. So, I mean, he was running really good, and it just didn't add up because his car is probably a number better than mine right now in the heat. I'd say at least maybe two. And I'm going to work on that.
But, I mean, you think that's in the car setup or what? I mean,
I think so. I think his car is probably a little better balanced than mine is right now. Just for the simple fact that we move weight around for different series, in the winter series and this, that, and where he doesn't.
Yeah, we move it even around. We move it around a lot.
Yeah. Like normally we just, where's your head edits hat?
And I had to give John props this weekend. Although I did wear Jess's hat all weekend.
I saw that.
During elimination. It has been fairly lucky. I wore it at the World Series. So, hey, it did well here for me. So I'll probably wear it on elimination day.
Yeah. So I think it's just combination difference. I mean, normally we're 4 to 5 numbers quicker than nitrous cars. And then you kind of at the last race, you can't see them run 4s and 3s where we were running 3s and 2s and 1s, so now they were within 2 numbers of us most of the time.
Yeah, Pap went really well in the heat.
64, yeah.
Yeah, that was a big run, I think.
And then so qualifying comes around, first round, really don't know where I'm at. I go out there and we put a decent run because it was good that morning. I'd say that was probably that was the best the track was daytime. What do you think?
Yes, sir. That definitely, the track was as good as it was going to get that day, and we swung and missed at it. And
we kind of were like, okay, let's let's get in. So we went 71. No, which by Pro Boost standards is not a stellar number, right?
God, yeah, I really thought the whole field was going to be lower than what it was, and you guys go out and go 71, and I don't know. Even myself, we go out there and we swung for it pretty hard there the first run, and just went out there and shook real bad, and we had to come back and go back to our tune up from testing once the sun, because after that the sun got out and it really got greasy after that.
Yeah. So I was proud we went down. I knew 71 would. I didn't think 71 would stay in. But looking back at the way the weather, 120 grains of water, 2,800 foot of air, 87 degrees. Second run comes around. I think we all were just kind of whatever, let's see if we can get down. We kind of were planning on first round tune-ups. Didn't get down. Track was really bad. Yeah. Really, really, really bad. And when I say bad, we're talking for numbers that we should run in those conditions, we couldn't get down the racetrack. I don't think one person got down in the right lane.
Yeah, I was going to say that the right lane seemed to be iffy. That was the lane that everyone was struggling with, at least in qualifying.
And you ask yourself, is that track condition? Is that track bump? Is that did all 10 idiots just miss it in that lane? See, it could be, coincidental sometimes.
Yeah.
I think enough
didn't pull very good. It did not pull very good.
Right. And I think enough people watch mine in your car that know that, like, when my car's struggling, either something's broke or the track is not on par. So they seem to get their shit.
Blame the track. It's very easy to blame the track, and we all got the same racetrack to run on. So I try to crutch on it a lot when we talk about the racetrack being bad or good, because we all have to run on the same deal.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like the guys playing the U.S. Open yesterday. They all played the same course. It was in the rain, so you got to deal with it, right? So same thing with it. Same thing. I'm not taking anything away from that. I'm just doing it for the fans, letting you know why we wasn't running 59 and 58.
Yeah.
So then Q3 rolls around. We get a little nighttime session, which was nice. It tightened up, but the air just did not move.
Yeah, the air stayed the same.
If anything, I think it got water grains got worse. Lots of cars sideways in the right lane, and there's a bump out there, like 1.5, maybe, I think, somewhere in there.
Right where you're trying to put the power in.
Right, and so Q3 rolls around. I didn't want to get crazy, but I didn't want to be sucking hind tit either. And I was watching like a bunch of cars that were getting bumped in and out and this and that. And, and for some reason, I was a little confused about the bump and where the bump went. But then I realized that, the guys that were left in front of us, there was like 4 or 5 pair left in front of us that couldn't move around. It got good, but it just didn't get great. So I go 66.6. You go 66.2, right? You were in front of me, though, I think.
I went in front of you because I think we went 69 or 70 or something in the other lane, so I had to go back over into the right lane for that session there.
Yep.
Right. Q3 we was in the right lane, I believe.
Right. And then we had 66.2. I went 66.6, and then Kent went 66.4, right?
Yeah. I was expecting Johnny and you both to go 63 or 4.
No, I don't think it was there. I think Melanie was on a 65. I think she was definitely on a 64, 65 run, and she broke a rear.
Yeah,
she ran beside me. And me and her bet 5 on the light, and she won. So I owe her $5.
You guys been killing it. But it really was. She was trying to run a little faster than us. I mean, John don't go up there and back it down. I can tell you right now. When he goes up there, he's going for the throat every run. If he thinks the track will hold us 61, he don't care what the rest of the field run. He's going to try to run 61 because that's just how he races.
And you talk about, like, Ed Burnley went 68 in the worst session we had. Yes. And that was amazing. I mean, that was, and then you go back and you look at yourself like, well, maybe the track isn't that bad. But I think the problem as a driver and as partial tuner, I'm looking at it. Well, but my dad's the world's worst. Well, they went 68, 65, but it don't always work like that. I mean, Ed's car is really fast, but then when it gets good, we bypass a lot of guys, you know. So they had a lot of things going for them as far as the screw blowers did, as far as, you know, the weather came to you a little bit. You guys were 60 foot and better. You had practiced, you know, I tested a lot and gotten where you need to be. So I really fully intended for Melanie to run by all of us, but she did break her rear end. So
yeah. She was running good. She really did, and that broken rear might have cost her a little bit, but I don't know if it was going to make the full trip or not. It was.
Yeah. What is that your first number one qualifier?
Last year Maryland I was number one at PDRA.
Oh, really?
Year,
son of a bitch!
I told you I like Maryland. I'm telling you, when it's hot, that Corvette likes it hot. So I like the sun out. I said that at the World Series. I say it now. Yep. I think in cool conditions, I think you guys have 2 numbers on me, number and a half.
Oh,
anyway.
You're crazy. Crazy.
I will say we've worked on that. John has worked on that. I mean, that was part of that test session too.
I will say your car doesn't show increase when you should. You would feel like you could leave that 66 run that you ran in the heat alone, and then it should run 5 or 4 on its own if you don't do anything to it, right? But it just doesn't do that.
Right. So far we haven't. And when we tested, we did test from 2 in the afternoon till 9 at night for that reason. So we could run in the heat and run in the night session.
That's good. Yeah. I mean, and that's smart. That's smart testing.
Yeah. So that's, I mean, you know, get that sunshine, 2, 3, 4 runs, and then 2 or 3 runs with the sun off the track too, to try to work on that side of things, because we are trying to improve it.
So qualifying's done. Everybody's kind of sitting around. I mean, it was pretty tight. I think a 74 bump is what it was.
Yes. Yep.
So,
and I still can't believe the 66 was number one. I really don't. It blew my mind. When I went 66, I figured I'd be 5th or 4th or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, but I watched a lot of the runs. Nobody was just stellaring it out there. I mean, you know, like, and my dad, let's do away with testing.
Do away with testing. Yeah. Bob, come on. That's 300 cars testing.
300 cars at $400 a piece. Do the math. So, I mean, let's just be honest. I think everybody got scared at the racetrack, and they were afraid the bump was going to move around. So nobody did those Hail Mary runs. Now, John probably did do a Hail Mary run in her car because she was in pretty good, and it just didn't work out. So done deal.
Yep.
I think on our end, we tried to play it a little too smart, but it worked out. I mean, I'm fine with it. No big deal. And then it rained all night long.
That is true. Which I'm not sure if that didn't help the racetrack come E1, because they had to get out there and do a little work onto it.
Well, I mean, the nitrous guys, they only had 12 cars, so they wasn't worried about qualifying. So they could kind of they didn't have to play the game like we did. We had 24 cars in our class. So
20 plus for sure.
Yeah. I think there were some guys that had some issues. I know Craig Sullivan had an issue maybe later in like Q3 or something. There were some guys that had some issues and just didn't get their stuff together when it needed to. I think Blinko and Monday and those guys just missed the setup on those night sessions, and that's where the field kind of runs away a little bit. So that's what you got to be careful of. I really thought it was going to rain that night session out.
Yeah.
But it didn't, and we got run. And I will say they did a great job getting all the testing and qualifying done in a timely manner. And I will tell you why once we get done recapping the next day. And I'm gonna tell you, and I want to see if I'm the only one who really recognize this. So we go in, all qualifying's done, everything's kind of finished up. We go in. I've got Jason Lee first round. You've got who do you have? Raymond Matos.
Yes,
and Puerto Rico.
That's a real. You qualify number one, and you got one of the fastest pro line cars out there, along with you guys. I got to take on number 16 qualifier. That's a real joy to get first round. Hey, you qualified number one, but you got him.
I got Jason Lee. He can hit the tree. He can run fast. They've got a good program over there. So, I mean, like me and you both said, once you qualify, there's no guarantee after that. It's just it's a bullet you got to dodge and just get in. First round's always tough. And it
is. But in Pro Boost, I think it's even worse than these other classes. I really do. I mean, it is top to bottom. And you had guys that didn't qualify, just like at all the other big races, that could possibly jump in there and win the race.
I don't know if you watched Nitrous, but Butner bypassed the scales on the last qualifier, so he could get Amber. I think is that who he got, or Tommy? Yeah. One of the two. Yeah,
one of the two. I don't remember, but it was one of them. I wonder if he did that on purpose.
I'm sure he did do it on purpose.
Trying to with the points.
I would say Jay probably instilled that. I don't know if Jay was part of that, but it's a little too early for that.
Yeah, it's only midway part of the season. We still got 3 races. Right, 3 races left in the PDRA season. So
no, 4.
4.
Yep.
Man.
Bristol, Martin.
Yeah, that's right.
Virginia and Goliath. Yep. I know you can't count, but
I won. I can't do shit. But yeah, I forgot about Bristol.
Yep. So I don't want to bore everybody to death with the count, but anyway, I win first round. You win first round. A lot of guys. I think there was very few upsets first round, maybe 1 or 2.
A lot of red lights.
And I'm gonna tell you why that happened. It was cloudy. It got cloudy. The track was tight, and we went up there, and you could see that tree really good. And I saw it when I was sitting up here in Priest, and you could see the tree. So my dad hollers back on the radio, gets one of them. I put a little more in my delay box because I knew you could see it, because I had been 10, 12. 009. I mean, I had been all over it. So I was there and I saw it. So I put a little more in my delay box, and I think I was 009, I think.
See, I didn't have nothing in my box because I don't know what the whole weekend, dude. I was 35 or 36 to 45 every run, testing everything. I'm like, I was doing everything. I was down in the motorhome on the damn practice tree in between rounds hitting. And I'm like, dude, I got to pick it up. I try to be 20, and for whatever reason, it just was not happening.
I think the quick drive's slower. I mean, obviously the 400's quicker than any of them, because I've had tie drives and 400s. I've never had a quick drive.
Yep. And we've heard that from other people as well. But then, like at Virginia, I was 10, 12 every run there. So maybe it was a little more rollout at the creek. I don't know.
Definitely. Well, I run the least amount at the creek than I do anywhere as far as delay. And it's always been like my entire life. I don't care if it's a dragster or what it is. I've always run less at the creek because it's a longer rollout. But John Dock beats Kurt Stedding. So there's one. That was a big one. And Kurt just didn't run good, and John drove good, and they got the new car, and they went down, and they're getting a handle on it. I think Todd missed a tune-up a little bit. Kurt missed a tree a little bit. So that was a done deal. I don't think of anybody else I thought that really stood out round 1.
Yeah, all the top cars won, I think.
Yeah. And so we roll into 2, which is about 2 hours later, 2.5 hours, maybe 3 hours later.
I was going to say 3.
Yeah, probably. And I've got Tyrone Tutterow. Yep. And the sun was in and out. They pulled us up there. I'm first out. I didn't even think about being first out. Didn't know it. They ran nitrous really quick. I think they were trying to. I mean, they ran the race really fast up there, and we just missed it. Just totally missed it. I mean, just flat out, no question, wasn't no excuse, whatever. Tried to go too fast what the racetrack would allow, and Ty put up a hell of a run. He's 002. He goes 68. I was 15, and even if I'd have slowed it down enough to go down a racetrack, I don't think I could have went much better than a 69. So I was dead in the water.
I made good runs during eliminations.
So what was your second round?
I had another flat hood the second round. I had all flat hoods all the way through. It's like y'all come out in waves. So the second round he shook. I think he shook. God Almighty! See, it's terrible. I don't even know who the hell I had second round, but I know it was a flat hood.
Not Scott Lane.
Oh, I had Weatherford. I had Randy.
That's right, because he did it right behind me.
Yeah,
that's
he did
right.
Right behind you and did the exact same thing you did.
Yep. And I think the right lane got better that run.
It did. We run right lane the whole
right. Exactly. So everybody bitched about the right lane. All of a sudden, I think it got really good.
Yeah, John, we picked the lane all day on Saturday. So, we had Weatherford and he shook, and I think I was 38 on the tree, and I think we go out there and go 70, I think.
I think you did 69 or 70, something
I
like
think
that.
I went 70 or 69 or 70, and
Yeah.
we was just making good laps, not great laps, just good laps, and I wasn't 100 on the tree, so we just making decent laps and decent on the tree, not great on the tree and not great laps. So, but I think the consistency with the heat out is where we've been really good at.
So you got Ty wins, beats my ass. You win. You beat Randy. You got Melanie and John Doc. Melanie goes a bazillion red and then about crashes. John's red behind her. And he makes a pretty decent run. Nothing stellar, I don't think. 71 or 70 or something like that. And then who else was left? John Camp.
Johnny Camp.
Yep. So Johnny goes down through there, and John ran a good. I think he runs 69, 70, something like that.
I thought he went 69.
Yeah, that's right. Because Brandon ran back and changed his once I shook the tires and slowed it down some more.
I figured between you and Randy shaking, I figured he was making a beeline for that car.
Yep. And that's what, if you're last pair, that's your prerogative, right? Because he gets more data, right?
That's what it's all about.
So then we go in. Nitrous is, running. They're getting down. Some guys are winning that race. You got Billy's making rounds. Scribba's making rounds. Tommy goes out. Amber goes out. Let's see. Who else is left? I can't remember.
Yeah, Freddie was making good laps all day.
Freddie made good laps. I knew Freddie.
He wasn't making big runs. He was making consistent runs, and he was driving well.
Yep. So
he was hitting a tree, which is not normally Freddie.
I feel bad because I didn't really get to pay attention to a lot of the pro rounds. I'm just going off what we did. But we're going into semis. You roll up there, you do your burnout. My man John sitting back there can't crank. Luckily, I run up right here. See this?
You're deep up in there.
Yeah.
Look at here. Look at this sprint. Look at this sprint.
Look at that. Fat boy can run.
Man got popped.
Well, I felt bad because I knew it was you, and I didn't want to hold you out, but I kind of did.
It's all right. Look, I wasn't going in that beam without him. I promise you. I'm not racing like that. Gene Pilot would put a foot in my ass if I rolled up there and rolled.
John's just not used to the Pro Charger, and I'm gonna try to explain this as best I can. So they'll fart once in a while. When you go to crank them, they'll do this, poop, 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 and then when they do that, dude, they're hard. It's not like they're flooded, but it's just something weird happens in there. I've had it happen to mine, and like I can do the start sequence with my hand. I can't tell somebody how to do it. So I got him to cycle the power. And then we got it fired up. So once he's rattled. Homeboy is rattled. I mean, he's rattled. He is. I can tell by the way he didn't even have his winding net up. He tucked his winding net down in his seat, and he was just going to run without a winding net. And in my mind, I was like, "Fuck!" If he gets disqualified or something happens. So I reach in the door. I'm setting the winding net up. And then I'm telling his guys to tell him to calm down, because by then we had done got up there. Dude, I mean,
I had to give him one little rap of the throttle while he pulled up there just so he could hear that.
Yeah. And so he gets up there and I'm telling him to calm down. And homeboy Lee, he did the same thing I did in Virginia. He just flinched and it was gone and you got a free ride. But you ran good, right?
Yeah, we ran what did I go that run? I only won a 70 that run,
Yeah.
Because Ty went 69 and got lane choice.
So you might have been smoked if that flat hood would have went down. But I think
I don't know where he went. He left way early and I was running down, but I don't remember what he went.
He was way deep in. I mean, so John said today he was telling me that I was crab walking beside him trying to put the winding net up. It distracted him. I was like, get the fuck out of here. If you're thinking about me, you're in trouble.
Yeah, that's right. It was all good. I let him think a little bit when he rolled in. I let him sit there after
I seen that.
After he rolled in the second ball, I let him sit there a little bit. But that's just racing. It's just racing,
yeah. I mean, whatever you got to do, I don't care. I mean,
I figured he was a little hopped up, so I let him sit out there, just let him look at that second ball just a little bit before I rolled in.
The longer you make me wait, the better I'm going to be. So keep
I
it
know
up.
it. I know it. I don't mind going first or second, but that time there, I just figured I'd just wait a little bit and take my time, roll in there, and whatever. He went red, and we go.
So then Ty's got Johnny Camp. And Ty puts up another stellar package. He's in there. Ty's driving his ass off. I don't know what the reaction times were on that run. I think I looked and just forgot. Ty was driving his butt off, man. I mean, he was just absolutely on kill.
He was.
And I hate to say this, Steve, you're a good friend of mine, but I had him picked because I just knew I know a guy, when you get a guy in that zone, man, he's got to really screw up for you to not do something. You know what I mean? To beat him. And I just didn't feel like I didn't feel like you were going to have to put up a good run. I didn't think you were completely out of the race. I think you had a chance, but I felt like Ty had the upper hand.
Yep. We was expecting to run a little better than we did. We went 68 in the final, but you know what? He tattooed my ass on the starting line as well. So, I mean, I'd had to run like 64-5 or something like that to beat him. So he put his whole put his whole foot in my ass and turned it sideways, I believe.
I'm just proud Melanie's watching us.
Yeah, she's on board.
I know she is. Yes. No, they're not. They're my gaming headphones, if you must know.
He's going to play one of them Fortnites or some shit after we get off here, probably.
I'm not playing Fortnite, I can tell you that. But no, I mean, Melanie goes 62 now. Don't forget about that 62 run in the broad daylight, worst conditions we had all weekend. She goes 62. So somebody showed their damn hand right there.
That was E1, and the conditions were pretty good in that morning session.
They were better that morning session, but somebody showed a damn hand. And I know how John, Salemi, and Evan and them too. Now, I would not have went up there trying to run 62 against Preston Tanner, but Preston goes 65, so they better be damn glad they did.
Yeah,
because
John don't back it down. I can tell you, if he thinks it's going to hold it, he's going to run it.
I believe that to my heart after I watched that. But that was a big discussion amongst the Flathoods. Look at this. I promise you, I give you my word as a man, no way in hell we could have went 64 that round. So you tell me where we're going to find two 200s.
Pull the valve covers off. Lean on it.
We do. We just are not crazy.
You can't drink a whole gallon of sweet tea between rounds, and I didn't hear leaning on it now.
I didn't hear one magic whistle this weekend. So I don't want to hear that shit.
I heard Ty blow his off right on the start.
Oh, that was on the damn two-step. That was a malfunction.
I don't know what happened there. Something broke probably. But yeah, that was
lies. Lies. Okay, Mel. What you heard? When she's at the other end, she went to 62, and I made the turn down there. I said, "Hey, Mel, you can go have a cheeseburger because your ass is going to weigh something after this race."
She said something about there was something hanging down, went through the lights or something.
See, cheaters.
See, she changed the piston.
Move. She didn't change shit. They did.
Melanie, tell him, when's the last time you seen them Flathead people take the front end off even between rounds? They just pulled off to wipe the dust off of it if they do take the front end off.
Go ask Ed Burnley. He had to put valves and everything else in his this weekend when he went 68 in that bad session. There was enough water in the damn air. I don't know how you could burn one up.
Oh, it ain't hard, right, Mel? Melanie will tell you. Yeah. You can burn them up with the water in there.
Yep. And it was a very weird race. Would you say that?
Yeah, it was. I mean, I was expecting the car. I know there was a lot of water, and I know it was hot and greasy, but I still expected the cars to run better than what they did. I mean, really, if you go into this race and say, 66 going to be number one, I don't think anybody would have believed that.
Go to bed, Melanie. Ain't you past your bedtime?
She's got one of them little fruity drinks right now, I'm sure.
She probably does. One of them Trulies. She's telling the truth. Somebody told me a long time ago, there's two people who tell the truth, a mad person and a drunk person. So,
right. That's a fact.
Yeah. So you run Ty in the finals. Ty puts up a good run, beats you.
Yeah. He just had the better car and the better driver for that run.
Which is weird because he just come off D&Q at Virginia, so they must have done some work.
They probably went testing, and you know what? They're between that group, our group, and your all's group. There's 3-4 big groups there, and the field is so tight. I mean, 1 through 20, and I tell people this all the time. Even though they're like, "Well, you're number one." Like this race here, I had people, "How you're number one?" I'm like, "Yeah, what does that get you?"
Yeah.
Okay, I got lane choice, but other than that, I mean, I'm running a number 16 car who can run as fast as anyone in the field. So it every round, and I think that's making me have to be a better driver. I mean, I have to crack down. I mean, I'm completely focused on this reaction time stuff, the stat guys keeping all that stuff, and I've been looking. I'm like, damn, I got to step up. I mean, I can't have average in this class. I don't think you can be 40 average. You cannot be 40.
No, and Jess, you can put up the stat guy. I mean, we looked at these stats. I was very, very surprised. I mean, you look at average round wins. Ty Tutterow. Ty's doing a great job. Melanie's, she won the first race. Camp's been to some semis, and then here's my little lonely ass. And then you're right behind me. We're tied. So
yeah, that's
kind of.
We're just riding along.
We are. We do have number one qualifiers. Kurt's got to win because he won against me. But, I mean, you look at some of these guys. I mean, Travis Harvey's a hell of a racer. He's way at the bottom. Chuck Olson, these guys.
Yes.
Randy Weatherford puts in a lot of work. Now go down here to average. I'm pointing at the screen like y'all can see it.
John flipping me off. He just sent me a text. He's flipping me off. But
so then you look down here, Ty.
He's doing yard work.
Yard work. They don't even know what yard. They ain't got a yard. They live in Buffalo. It's probably still snow on the damn ground. Hot as Hades here.
It is.
And I'm like Ty said, I could see Ty's 17 reaction time. Like I see that because I've ran him a bunch this year, more than I probably want to, and I've seen him be good. I think he was 0-0 against me in Galot when I had that spark plug go out. Melanie, Mel's something she'll tell you she's worked on her reaction time because she's up and down a lot. She'll tell you. I've talked to her about it multiple times. Scott Lang really surprised me. Scott is a good driver and probably doesn't get the credit he deserves sometimes when, as far as reaction times. And then me, and then Travis, and then Camp, and then John Dock, which is a rookie, by the way, Preston Tanner, Kurt Stedding, and then Steve King. There's a big jump between you and Kurt, Steve.
Yeah, I'm not lying. That's where I've been. I mean, it's the stats don't lie, and that's where I have been. I mean, 35 to 45, and I got to step that part of the program up because John's bailed me out a few times on the keyboard, and credit goes to him on that for sure. Even though he's slipping me off, but he's done a great job on the keyboard and bailed my ass out. So I used to think I could step up when need be.
Yeah.
But the class has gotten to the point you got to be good every freaking run. Every run. You cannot be.
Can I give you some advice?
What's that?
When you pull in there, when you pre-stage, when you mash the transmitter, hold your breath.
Hold my breath.
Hold your breath.
Okay.
Hold your breath. And I'm telling you, it'll get you. And I'll let my secret out right now. You either pass the hell out. Or so
I'll try it. I ain't scared to try anything.
Hold your breath. When you get in. I'm not talking about like for 30 damn seconds or something, but just 4 lights are on. Hold your breath for a second, and then just hit it.
Yeah, I mean, like where was we at Gallup when I had Travis and I was 006 and I think he was 009. And it always felt like when I need to be, I can be there. That's how I raced for many, many years. But once again, I go back. This class has gotten so crazy that you can't race like that. You got to be like a bracket racer.
Okay. I'm going to see if Jess can find my in-car. She'll look for my in-car that they took video. I'm going to show you something. Like, you want to talk about a freakazoid in the car? Bro, I didn't realize how weird I am.
And I looked at the one, looked like you would just had your hand over like you was going to the drive-through or something. Just kind of laid back.
I know it's like my crew and people that know me know I got these tics. Okay, so it's not that I have Tourette's or OCD. I guess I have OCD of race car. Like I get in there and and I get these things. It used to be my gloves. I had these gloves. I didn't like the way they feel, and I would push them together like this all the time, and then I would tug on them, and I would check the shifter, and then tugging the steering wheel. So I just had all these things that would happen, and then I get this window net thing in my and I'm touching the window net. I'm touching the window net. I'm touching the window net. And what it is, it droops, and when I'm in the right lane, it's kind of in my vision, so I'm constantly hitting it. And if you have to move in and out of the groove a lot, you have to kind of look around, and you can't move in there very well, right? So let's see. She's doing. Oh, okay. See if she can. Probably won't play because my junkie. But bro, I am 11 times from burnout. Okay, watch. Okay, so I'm just sitting there. I'm waiting once. Here's my gloves. Already hit it once, twice, 3 times, 4 times.
I think you do got Tourette's. I ain't sure. I jump around in there too. Look right here. Boom. Part of it, I can't tell if you're in McDonald's drive-through or what you're doing there.
I already hit it once. Now I got to check my gloves. Dude, what the hell's 2, 3, 4? And I'm in the left lane. No, am I? No, I'm in the right lane. That's why I was in the right lane. All right, so
I do a lot of jumping around in there too. I don't even know where my hands go. I check the air bottle. I check this. I check that, and I keep effing with my glove because I think it gives me the same thing with my gloves. I'm always I'm trying to find a better glove to feel the damn button. I don't know about you, but I've been calling every manufacturer for that.
I got the big mushroom button, and I don't know. Hey, are you, like Savoy said, being amped up? Good job, by the way, Jordan, this weekend. I mean, turbo car, you come out there, you tried. Hey, man, shout out to you. But I've always done it. Nitrous cars, it was the valves or it just, I don't know, man.
Well, you just double checking, and you're before you roll in. I do a lot of stuff. I used to be in the other car. I had everything. Like I would reach over and check the air bottle, make sure it was open, the fresh air bottle, make sure it was open, and I go back. I always just check everything. I can't reach every little thing in there, but I still check what I can reach.
I want to know, I want to go to every guy in our class, or even some of the nitrous guys, and say, what's your tick? I know John Doc's on here, and me and John have talked about it before. His is the gloves and things like that, So, and then it's just like he didn't think about it when he ran you. He wasn't doing his glove thing, so he was rushed and he just flipped out, and he just threw him out of his rhythm. I wonder if Melanie's got like a tick or something. Is she singing? Is she singing inside her helmet? I wonder. I mean, is she like purple rain?
She's doing something out there. I can tell you that.
So
whatever she's doing, she's been driving her ass off all year. She's been killing the tree all year long. She did her homework.
Yep. And John Camp's cussing somebody out in there. He's like, "Who the motherfucker? I'm gonna beat my ass. I'm gonna get him." He's probably mumbling something. Randy Weatherford's trying to figure out how much jet fuel he got to get there. Find this jet in. But I bet you every one of the guys we race with got a tick or something in the car that just flips them out. My wife just seems to think it's because I'm weird. I'm on here. You see me? I'm on here. I'm all moving around and shit. I mean, I'm just.
Yeah, we are all hyperventilated all the time. So, I think most people do a lot with their gloves, at least in the in-car camp. Yeah, I think the glove is the big thing, whether you're pulling it tighter or, like you said, putting it together, whatever. Yeah. That's the big key. But I got the small buttons, and everyone's going to different buttons. I'm trying everything: buttons, visors, different underwear. I'm putting everything on, trying to. I got to be better, and whatever the tick is, I might even try pink socks. I don't fucking know. I'm gonna put something on.
Cam Clark can tell you what my winning strategy was last year at Norwalk. Let's see if he'll put that on there. I'm not gonna tell anybody, but he'll tell you exactly what it was. I'm not proud of it, but it worked. So So Ty wins. It's Billy Albert in the finals against
Freddie
Scribble.
Yep.
Freddie's had a rough year so far.
He struggled most of the season, but he came out there this race, and he qualified pretty well, but up to his standards. I don't think he really leans on as hard as he needs to, but he just makes good, clean runs.
There it is.
About the underwear.
I had such a hard time, and I'm so weird. I don't know if people realize how weird I am about stuff like that.
Man, don't tell me you're wearing a thong at the racetrack, dude, underneath that suit. Don't even tell me that shit.
A pink one.
Oh my Lord.
No. I didn't change my underwear all weekend at Norwalk.
Oh,
I took a shower, but I put different underwear on. I didn't put different underwear on.
Oh,
and so
the laundry lady.
Cam calls me out on it. I don't know if I had one or it was the night before or whatever. And I couldn't lie to it. A G-string. That's my cousin. Nobody knows that, but dude, it was the same.
He got to put his sandwich down before he pre-stages.
I'm working on. Yeah, I bet you. Sandwich. I wish I could eat in there sometimes.
I don't know if you should have told everybody you wore the same pair of underwear for the whole race.
I won the damn race. I don't care. If you could win the next race, you'd wear the same damn underwear all weekend too. Ain't nobody can smell it but me and my wife, and she ain't gonna smell it much.
No, she's going in the other room. She said, no. The laundry person not going to be happy, yo.
I ain't doing commando, King. If you're in that suit free balling, and I'm gonna be sick.
I can't do it, man. I got the tighty whities. They're colored gray or black, whatever, dude. But I ain't going no commando.
I didn't ask you what you were wearing.
Oh, I do that for weight purposes. That way we put a little bit of another pound up on the front end.
We gotta. I probably did frame them. Hey, don't act like I ain't washed them yet. They're probably still. There's my wife.
Oh no,
she wasn't there for that race.
Oh, that's a good thing then. Poor Bob.
He don't know. They still stood up. They were bad. And his girlfriend, she noticed it too. And I can't lie about it. No, they're the same. It's just same ones, it's different color or something, or same color.
Your bag still had the whole underwear section still full.
Stanky.
It's okay. If you won, it worked. I would wear them. I'd do the same thing.
Yeah. So, but hey, it is what it is. Let's get back to races. Quit talking about underwear. We got way off. The Kinetic Shock underwear. Who's wearing what? We're going to go around and ask everybody, boxers or briefs. You get to ask Melanie.
Nope, I'm not asking Melanie that. She'll send. I'll get another message from her with somebody flipping me off.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't like looking at points, but Jess is going to make me look at this. Old Camp Daddy's at the top. Melanie's second. I'm third. You are fourth. Ty's making a run. So Ty moved up pretty good. You moved up pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, the top 5-6 cars. I mean, 1-2 rounds.
I think it's just hard to look at it right now at this level.
Joel
Winslet. Joel's the one I saw who didn't. He made test runs and he didn't try to qualify. I don't know if they hurt something or what. But yeah.
I mean, that's pretty impressive. Even 3 races in, if you look at that with 5 or 6 cars all within 1 round or 2 rounds.
Let's do some math here. If you win Martin, let's say you max Martin out, you win. You get 540,
541,
yeah,
something like that.
So I mean, you move up by a bunch. So I mean, I've always said this. I think Martin is because last year I had a runner up at Galot, first round at Virginia, a first round at Norwalk, a first round at Maryland. So just FYI.
Wow.
And so
you went on a run after that. There ain't no doubt.
I think Martin. I'd runner up at Martin. I broke a hub. I broke a hub in the finals against Johnny. And then Bristol I won, Galata I won, Virginia I won. So it doesn't take much. I mean, I really think if you look at this point spread, it's going to come down to the very last race, which is very stressful. Been there a couple of times, and I don't, I know a lot of the guys hadn't been in that kind of situation, but when it comes down to the last race, man, it puts a lot of pressure on you. It is so nice to have it wrapped up before you even get into Virginia, and it's going to take. I don't even know. If you win the next 2, I don't think you can wrap it up by Galot, even if you do good at Galot. So I think it's going to come down to the last race. I think you're going to see probably 2 or 3 people that can make big moves in the last couple of races. But it's still too early. Even if you have a sucky Martin, you still got some races that you can make it up. You're just gonna
It's a
have
long way to go. It's still a long way to go.
by this time last year, I had wrote it out. I was done. I mean, I was like, well, gave it a try, but whatever.
Well, I sent you that video and fucked that up.
Yeah,
Then,
you did. You
then
fired
you
me up.
then you went on a run. So
Yeah.
I'll take the blame for that, everybody.
Yeah.
That
So
was Jess's idea. We'll blame her.
yeah, yeah. But I mean, I would say truthfully, I mean, unless one of the guys at the very back, ninth, eighth, ninth, seventh, somewhere like that, makes a big. I mean, they got to make a strong run, and the little points add up too. So you got to be careful there because, if you qualify good, like that number one gets you a little bit. Melanie maxed a lot out, so that's about what you can get there. And I was one round short of maxing Virginia out, and you were one round short of maxing this one out.
Yes.
So
that could be big at the end. But
yep, I think you're right.
It could be very big. But you know what? Ty he ran well. So got to give him credit there.
Yeah. I think, Ty did good at Galat. Virginia hurt him. But that is what it is. I mean,
he's still right there. I mean, like you said, 4 races to go, a lot to go. And
we're all competitors, but I still like seeing Ty do good. I've watched Ty grow up, even though Ty's not that much younger than me, but I do remember when Ty was a little kid, and he's put forth a lot of effort, and it's good to see him carrying on the legacy of his father and what they've done. And you never see a kid who loves it or eats it or sleeps it more than he does. I'm super proud of him. My buddy Billy Albert got in the finals of Pro Nitrous. Good friend of mine for years and years and years. Built a lot of motors for me. Good guy. Good to see him turn his program around. Freddie has had a shitty year this year so far. Good to see him win.
Yep.
Let's see, 632. Drinkwater won Pro Stock. He's about the only Pro Stock driver I like. But
who won the 10.5? Who won the 10.5 class? Because there's been a little stuff on the internet about this.
Tommy Blake didn't.
Blake won it. So everybody's raising hell about the nitrous cars. Fletcher's been running good. Blake runs good. There was a little. I've seen him on there a little bit talking some smack about the nitrous car, blah blah blah.
And there was some talk after the race. Some officials in my pit, and we were just kind of talking in general. Nitrous cars are going to have an advantage at some point in time, but there was still some boost cars that ran good. This is a big thing that gets talked about in my pits. You can't penalize a guy for out racing you. I don't care what his combination is. And you would do the same. If I had a screw blower, I'd be just as fast with a screw blower as I am the Pro Charger. You're going to be just fast with a Pro Charger as you are. So you can't defeat a guy for being for out racing them. I mean, some guys just don't race hard or just don't use their head. So it's hard.
Blake and Fletcher was at the test session when we was testing. So they was there for days running the shit out of their stuff.
Not that those other guys probably don't put in effort, but I mean, I think do I think there's an advantage with a nitrous car with a lot of weight difference? Probably so, depending on what. I don't even know the rules, can't tell you.
Nope.
I like to talk about tune-ups and difference in numbers, different combos. It's hard to say. I mean, there was a lot of fast cars there. I hate to say this. I love Jim. Jim Halsey's, he's a good guy, but he's just not in his cards for him to do this right now. But I think it's been good for Pro Nitrous.
Yeah. Jimmy been crushing them.
Yeah.
For a couple years in a row. I mean, he's flat been crushing them.
Yeah.
Whatever. I'm not a big nitrous guy, so I don't know what they're doing, what they ain't doing. I don't know nothing about the rules. I know they purge them big plumes. They all do that. And I don't know. That looks kind of.
I think it's done Pro Nitrous a little good. I think it's given some of the other teams a chance to step up. But I think Jimmy's the reason they did step up. I think Jimmy pushed these guys to do good and to change their car and change their motor program and run it a little harder and that kind of thing. So I think that's changed up too. So I think it's kind of a double-edged sword, as I always say. He did what he wanted to and ran really good, and he made these guys step up.
Yep. I give Fred Scribe a hell all the time about that same scenario.
Yep.
I said, it ain't Brad. You ain't running Top Sportsman. You got to burn a piston every now and again, even though those flat hoods don't. But anyway,
we do.
But they do. And
but
what about the tune up for difference from the Pro Charger to the screw blowers? I mean, you guys seem to be able to. The heat, in my opinion, does that create more cylinder heat?
Yeah. So we can't run as much timing as you are. So let's give. I would love to have a whiteboard right here. So I'll tell you, I'm 17 pounds of boost on a 2-step. You're 40. I keep hearing
37.
37. Whatever. 37. So you're 30 pounds. Well, you're 20 pounds more than I am on the 2-step.
What are you at 0.4? 106?
No.
Oh.
At 0.4. I mean, it takes me to get to 37. It takes me a second and a half. Okay, to get to where you're at on the 2-step, but then by second gear, I'm over 40, where you guys are still at 37, right?
Ours stays pretty flat line with the RPM.
Okay, but that's at 92 over.
Yes, correct. I mean, we spin at 120, we could crank it on up, but
see, I can't spin my Pro Charger any harder; it'll touch down. 72,000 RPM. So I mean, I'm max gear ratio out, and we've learned that the more you spin them, like I could spin mine just a touch harder, but it robs horsepower from the motor. So what the hell's the point? So
it doesn't make up the difference then.
No, and we've back to back, different gear sets to show the different boosts, and it'll make I got to go up 4 points in gear ratio to make up 2 pounds, and I don't get those 2 pounds to the very end. It doesn't make it all the way through. It won't hardly show it on the 2-step, but it just waits till it gets. Okay, thank you. Boy,
she checking to see if you still got the same underwear on.
Probably. No, that's my boy. So, but yeah, I mean, that's kind of where we're at. But I have 500 intake air temp. Okay.
Yeah, I've heard that's a big deal.
So I can't run any time. Okay. Good night. So,
so the intake temperature is big on what you guys do.
Very big. Yep. So I mean, if we can cool the intake charge on ours, we could get some more timing cranked in it. We might be able to run a little bit.
Please explain spraying nitrous on the 2-step. Now that's a Mr. Harris Channel 9 guy, because he's a nitrous guy deep down.
So when the air gets bad, the motors they don't like to flash the converter. So the converter just won't flash. Say in good air, with no rules. Okay, we'll get to that in a minute. Let's just say your converter is at 70 degrees. You know what your what your motor flashes the converter at, right? I mean, you're 7,000 or whatever.
Wherever, yeah. Depends on what we set it up at, right?
So a nitrous car can't flash that converter because we have no horsepower on the 2-step, just raw horsepower. Nothing flashing it. So by the time I turn first kit on, right off the button, it's still not really flashing that converter. So it takes a lot of time before I can get that converter to flash up. So the more bad the air is, that sounds terrible grammar wise, but the worse the air is, it's harder to get to that flash point. So we've discovered if you spray nitrous on the 2-step, it's already the motor's got to run and start at that converter, and it gets it up. And we proved it on a lot of 632 cars. Like they need to flash like 7,000, 7,200. So in that kind of air, they were up there. They were just about killed. So it's kind of like a clutch deal. You just less weight on the clutch. Same kind of thing. Getting it to flash the clutch. If guys were clutch guys, but doing that is you're getting a run at everything. And we've learned how to do it with some of these EFIs. We've learned that it doesn't blow the hood scoop off, but it really changes. Like if you're in 632 and you're not doing it when it's bad air, you're behind. I can tell you there's a secret. Boom, write it in your book, put it up there. But that's part of it. And then when it gets good air, we don't need to do it because you've got natural horsepower.
That makes sense. That all makes sense for sure.
What am I think? What do I think Carl run with no rules?
It,
I don't really know. I mean, I could put a 144 Pro Charger on there and pick up a little bit more. I don't know how much more I could put on there. Weight, you can't get me so light because I'm fat. So
he don't, and he got the same underwear on. But I mean, the unlimited cars out there running Scruggs and them's been 340s. I mean, I think
but they don't weigh nothing. Jesus
right,
Christ.
the super lightweight, big overdrive,
125 over. They're changing belts every 2 runs. They weigh 2350. You get a Pro Charger car down to work at 2350 with a 140, and you can spray nitrous on it. I bet you we go 40s.
I think that's where most of the cars would be at.
So we've got that outlaw race coming at Galot, and I think Jay took the weight out of his twin turbo car. So we'll see. I think Bubba's coming. There's going to be some outlaw, like literally no rules coming. I may show up. I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure what I kind of want to do with that. I definitely could not win it unless they just absolutely fall dead in the other lane, because I'm not going to go out there and change my combo to try to run that kind of speed. But it would be nice to go out there and just make some hits and try to get my head back in the game, because we got like a 7-week break now.
Right. Yeah. You all do. I've got to go to Empire. We got a big race up there on the 13th and 14th that John and Gene and all of them putting together up there. So we'll be up there making some rips on Friday, Saturday.
I might sneak up there.
It's just PDRA rules. Other than the nitrous cars can run whatever. There's no rules on the nitrous cars.
Boy,
I don't know what.
If I can find me a sponsor to get me a little fuel money to come up there, I might do it.
Look at there. Yeah. You should come on up. I mean, it's a little bit of a drive, but Empire does a good job up there, and you get some rips in.
Yep. So
it's probably going to be hot. So
yeah, Galot is the end of this month. They've got an outlaw like Night of Fire thing they're trying to push. Yep. We kind of pushed them to see if they could do some Pro Boost, Pro Nitrous rules, or kind of like the same rules we run at Rockingham Big Dog, but they just didn't want to do it.
There's no rules, none. Is that what
they want to try it and just see what it does? I mean, it might be exciting. If Jay can get his shit hooked up, he'll probably run 330 at 255,000 mile an hour. So
that's a fact. That is a fact.
So
look, Travis says Diamond. Throw a little bit of fuel money in there. All you got to sell one watch.
Yeah, if anybody's looking to sponsor me to go to Empire and whoop King's ass, just hit me, DM me. Oh, there's Jay. I knew I'd get Jay. I didn't take the weight out. I ain't been down the track in 2 months. Come on and let us have fun. Galot 28, no rule. If you believe he didn't take the weight out, you're smoking crack. I'm just proud that he's watching.
I am too. He done come on the Boost and bullshit. We might have to get him on with a special Kinetic.
He will be the bullshit, like literally the definition of the bullshit.
Right.
So no, but Jay's right. I mean, I'm not going to take the weight out. I'm just going to try to see if I can make some runs. I think it's right here in my backyard. Why wouldn't I? Right?
No, it's close. It's close for you guys for sure, and you could get some testing in if that's what you need or whatnot. I'm fat too. He's been eating lettuce and carrots and shit.
Yeah. So,
hey, if you want to get light, all you got to do is put a Feather-Lite battery in that thing, lose a little bit of weight, get cranked up. Them guys will take care of you.
All right. I think that's enough. We bored enough people about crap for the last. So I want to thank Kinetic Shock's coming back on for our recap for this show, episode 9. Me and this big dummy right here. I mean, I know we don't get a lot of views when we should. Some of our shows are really good. Some of them are kind of boring. But I mean, if you can get in the comments section, ask us anything, we'll tell you. Steve will probably don't know because he just sits in the car and mashes the button. But I can, I can kind of enlighten you best I can. I might be wrong sometimes, but everybody had a good weekend at Maryland. Steve did really well. I'm proud of him. He needed that. He needed a little bit of bright sunshine on his side.
I've been sad.
So I got to thank Feather-Lite Batteries again for being on board with us. Pilot Racing, who would have thought this friendship would have went like this? Party Time Racing, and you got the yin and the yang here, the ding and the dong.
Little country action on one side and whole lot country on the other. But I never thought we'd be doing this, but we do. We really got to go back to Feather-Lite. These guys been on board for a couple episodes now, and whether you got a top fuel car to your motorhome to the pro mod, even my equipment, I run Feather-Lite batteries and all my stuff. And I think the majority of the PDRA cars, all those guys, they are the battery of choice.
Yep. Got to thank those guys. And, Kinetic Shock's Chris Bell, he'll get you hooked up. I promise you. I've had them on my car since day one. I've never hit a knob on them when they came out. Put them on there. He wants me to send them back so I'm fresh them. I won't do it. I don't want to. You're not touching my damn shocks, Chris. So,
yeah, when you're working, don't touch them.
Yep, exactly. So, got to thank them for the recap. Again, thanks PDRA putting up on our crap. We're letting us bitch on here on Soapbox a little bit. We'll guys see you. 131's next. We'll try to hit you in between. We're gonna have some in between shows. If I get up to Empire, we may do an Empire show up there. If not, we'll be back on here before we go to Martin and sometime in between there. Martin, Michigan's next. Track's always good, and everybody that goes up there normally flies, and there'll be a big crowd. It will be a heck of a race. One of my favorite places to go.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to. Last time we was up there, that was a huge crowd, and I'm looking forward to that.
Yep. So again, thanks a lot. Episode 9, Boosting Bullshit. We bored you long enough. Hit us on Facebook. Hit the likes and share and follows. Pilot Racing, Party Time Racing. We'll see you next time.
See you next time. Maybe off the boat.